We are going to bring in Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump and Senior Research Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Victoria, thanks so much for being with us. I want to echo what we heard from Eric Trump just moments ago. So do you think that yesterday was an example of weaponizing the system?
Good morning, Ashley. Yes, I mean, absolutely. I think we've seen Democrats, and Bragg as an elected Democrat, highly politicizing our justice system in order to try to go after President Trump. And it's important to remember, it's not going to end with Trump. It's going to be going after everyone they disagree with. So I think it's very important for the former president to stand up and fight on this issue and point out what's going on here, and none of us should stand for it.
There are much bigger implications than just the here and now when it comes to the United States of America. This has worldwide implications. So, Victoria, can we ever again lecture other countries about democracy and the rule of law after what we witnessed yesterday?
Well, absolutely, Todd. I think we can. I mean, I don't know that lecturing folks about democracy gets us very far, but we're seeing our democracy play out. And we're going to have a chance in 2024 to exercise that democracy. But your point is an excellent one, which is this is being watched all around the world. And the Biden administration can pretend that they are stovepiping it. But make no mistake about it, Chairman Xi and President Putin and the supreme leader in Iran are all watching this like hawks. And it's a very, very dangerous moment for our country.
You know, what did you make of the press conference Alvin Bragg held shortly after this arraignment yesterday? Was there anything that stood out to you more than others?
The whole thing was just detached from reality. I mean, he not only failed to really make any kind of a case against former President Trump, he failed 34 times. I mean, there's just no there with this. And I think it really laid bare to the American people how their resources are being wasted, their time is being wasted, their security is being put in danger by this political witch hunt. And so I think he really exposed himself and the entire effort as, in many ways, an empty suit.
You mentioned China and Russia. I think that's the key follow-up here. Don't spectacles like yesterday, based off of a toothless indictment like you mentioned, just embolden China and Russia, that their strategies to divide us, both overt and covert, that those strategies are actually working, Victoria?
Well, it's such a dangerous time, Todd. I mean, we've had the revelations in the last 24 or 36 hours that the administration knew when that Chinese spy balloon drifted across our country for a week that it was sending sensitive data back to Beijing, and they couldn't block it, and they let it happen. And then we have, you know, Putin and the Russians scooping up a Wall Street Journal journalist in Russia and holding him hostage. They are emboldened. They're on the move. And our president's just laughing about it and running around telling us we're not spending more for Easter this year when everybody knows that we are. So I think hopefully at least the Congress can start demanding some answers on this and really alerting people to the dangers that we're facing.
Well, what he is spending more on is we're now going to be giving another $2.6 billion in military and security aid to Ukraine. Now, switching gears a little more on that line, Finland is now the first country to join NATO since the war in Ukraine began, dealing a major blow to Vladimir Putin's quest for power in the region. So what does this signify for that region, and what does it mean for that area?
Well, in the abstract, Finland and then Sweden joining NATO is a good thing for the reason you raised there, Ashley, which is, you know, we're being asked for another $2.6 billion, taking us well over $100 billion in aid to Ukraine, which is not an area where the United States should be the top donor. I mean, this is essentially a European war. So when large economies with significant militaries like Sweden and Finland formally join NATO, formally join that effort, that should be a good thing. But I'm very concerned that this administration, which seems to want to pivot away from these issues, is not paying attention to the fact that Finland has an extended border with Russia. This is a potential vulnerability. And while it can be a great strategic advantage to have them join us in NATO, we have to be paying attention to that and thinking about that increased threat.
800 miles. That is quite a border. I didn't realize it was that extensive, but that's a lot of land to cover.
Yeah, it really is. Victoria Coates, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate you coming on.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.